Hello everyone and welcome back to another Batman miniature game 3rd edition battle report, this time taking place in I guess an interstate type area, or the off-ramp of one in Gotham City, and we have a 350 rep match for you today between the Court of Owls and Joker. So we'll be putting those two up against each other, seeing what happens on this new table layout, and without further ado let's just jump straight into looking at the teams. So just 5 models in the Court of Owl crew taking part today compared to the, I think it's 9 in the Joker crew. There's a lot. But this is a list that was, it's been used before rather, but I think this was way back when the 3rd edition battle report started and prior to the Court of Owls being rebalanced a little bit in keeping with when the app came out, etc. So Lincoln Marsh is leading the team and he's bringing the Gotham Butcher, who was not worth his points at the start of 3rd edition. He's worth it more now. He has desensitized so he can't get knocked out. He has +1 HP. What's the other? Oh, well, he has the Murderer role, but it's got the new definition, same as Zaz. And of course, Reanimate L was changed for all of them as well. We have the actual Talon, we have the 1890s Talon, and then we have Strix. And as per usual with the Court of Owls, they have a plethora of upgrades because they don't spend, well, little to no funding on their actual bringing units. Rather than go over every single one, we'll bring them up when it's relevant for the match. But needless to say, there's a lot of genetic alterations to give them fast and, I think, just fast. Climbing claws and camel vests to give them a little bit of anti-gun. So yeah, a massive 9 miniatures in Joker's crew and far less upgrades to cover. In fact, I'm going to cover those first. Panda Man has neurotropic drugs for fast and dodge just because it's hilarious imagining him being like super agile in that panda's costume. And Whiteface has an extra mag, just because. But anyway, the list is being led by Back to Gotham Joker, and Back to Gotham Harley Quinn is his sidekick for the match. Then a plethora of his actual henchmen and also K-Man. So Whiteface, Panda Man, Dynamite, Rasta Clown, Buffoon, and Thug 6 from the Back to Gotham box, who technically isn't a Joker thug, he's generic thug, and Kite Man, as previously stated. So they've obviously got the numbers advantage. That means the Court of Owls will have a massive pass advantage, and if they hold on to those, are basically guaranteed to go first in every round after round 1. So here we are at deployment fully done. The Joker crew is on your left and will be taking first activation in battle round 1, and the Court of Owls are on your right. Nobody deployed out of their 8 inches in deployment zones, but you can see that there are the 3 L markers, of course, one there, and one there. And we'll look at who has Audacity in a second, although keep in mind Joker's Audacity markers are fluid, they can get moved around because of Trickster, and he gives all his henchmen Trickster. There's 2 phase 2 cards being played by the Court of Owls though, so let's cover those. The mission, which is William Cobb, aka the Talon's Unique. Target a model with the Reanimated Owl trait. That model removes the current enemy boss or the model with the highest reputation, although in both cases I believe it's Joker. And that is being played on Lincoln Marsh because he is a Reanimated Owl. And that stays in play. So as long as he kills Joker, or if Joker's already dead, actually no, because what if Joker dies? I guess it would just cancel this if someone else did it. So either way, it's in play for Lincoln Marsh with Joker, and connected to that, Terrible Accident is also being played. Again, it's for Joker being removed, but this is only for the round. It's just to get out the hand, really. It will go back to the bottom of the deck afterwards when it doesn't score. Oh, and it would help if we showed who had Audacity. So Strix is down here with Audacity, the Talon has Audacity, the Gotham Butcher has Audacity, Lincoln Marsh, he can fly because of his power armor, so he's up there with Audacity as well. We come round here, Panda Man is up on a sniper post up here with his rifle, no way to get down other than jumping. Harley Quinn and Ace of Spades has Audacity, Joker himself does, and Whiteface does, but again, they can get moved around as need be. So with that, we are ready to get started. Let's jump into battle round 1. So it was Dynamite who got the game started. Now unfortunately he didn't originally have Audacity and was out of the 8 inches of Joker's Inspire bubble. So via Chaos Agent / Trickster he decided to borrow / use the Audacity off of Ace of Spades, so he doesn't have it anymore. He moved up, he put down a suspect marker, and it is the game's first instantly Stinky Fist. Now Lincoln Marsh can probably reach that if he's willing to get poisoned to remove it to stop it scoring, and he's also made sure he's ended in base to base with that sewer there in case he wants to go walkabouts next turn. So rather than use a pass, the Court of Owls did activate. They activated Strix. She went forward well within her total of 10+1 because of an acrobat movement, plus, oh actually I think she has the fast upgrade, so she could have moved more, but she doesn't want to. She wants cover from the Batmobile there because Panda Man is looking down on her from up there, Now, she is outside of optimal range. He has a silencer though, so she can't dodge his shots. So that's why she wanted to be in cover. She put down a suspect marker, and also during her turn she played the court secures bases, which is not relevant to her putting that down, but we've seen this before. It's an excellent early game play for the Court of Owls to have at least one of these. You pick an owl marker. If at the end of the next enemy model's activation there's no enemy models within 4, you add a 1 counter to it. When it hits 4, score the card. The owl marker being selected is the one over there, smack dab in front of the Gotham Butcher. Go get it if you dare. So despite Strix's plans, there was a little hiccup that led to Penultimate activating next for Joker's crew, and that is because if we come round here, she was still within 4 of that lamp there. Thought was out of it, but she was not, so she was illuminated. So he shot at her. She was still getting cover from the Batmobile there though, so 1 die was lost. And the roll was, thankfully for her, pretty bad. Only 1 hit got through, with a red dot reroll on one of them for 2 blood and 1 stun. So again, still not wanting to make use of any of those passes. I guess they just really want first activation in Battle Round 2. The Talon activated, who had been in front of that red car there. He darted forwards, didn't use his full movement because he wants cover from that open car door there. Tactical action though to put down a suspect marker, and then not connected to that, much like Strix, he also put into play the second the court secure bases. They're now offset, so that means they will not score at the same time, which means they can both be in play like that. And the other one already has 1 marker on it, whereas this one has none. Harley Quinn activated for Joker's crew next, and she is fast, literally. Has the fast roll, acrobat, 12 normal movement, so that's 15 in total. But first, during her activation, her unique was played, which is Joker O-meter. So assuming this is remembered, anyone within 4 that rolls double 1s in a roll and is not removed as a casualty, she gets moved into base to base with them, gets a free melee attack, and if the attack does any damage, it scores the card. For 3, which is pretty good. It was just to put it into play, and it stays in play as long as Harley is alive. So Harley darted over here because she had enough movement that she could actually get within 1 of Strix, and she has reach on her mallet. So she unleashed the Mallet of Doom on Strix, efforted 1 time, and Strix did not. 3 hits got through for a double stun each time, so that is 6 stun, much more than enough, because she already had 1 stun on her and she's only got 6 willpower to stun her. A little confused again about whether or not the push on her mallet procs on a hit in which she knocks someone out. We had this issue the last time this Harley was on the table. That time I believe we applied the push, so we're doing that again. So half the damage, push, and then she's knocked out. The 1890s Talon activated without Audacity, so he just ran forwards up with the other Talon near the L markers there. Didn't do anything else with his turn though, and I don't think he had the Inspire Manipulate anyway. Ace of Spades was next up for the Joker crew, without Audacity now because Dynamite stole it, but within 8 of Joker to get a free Manipulate, which he used after moving up and placing a suspect marker right there because he placed it within 4 of the 1890s Talon, and that scored Let Them Do Their Thing. So it just scores for the criteria I just said, and then a card from each hand is discarded at random. Now with the completion of Ace of Spades' turn, however, the first court secure bases scores, and then the other one procs up to 2. So Lincoln March activated from up on his perch up there. He activated the fly action for an extra 8 inches movement, and he can travel in any direction. For his special action, he flew down here. That gave him enough with his base movement of 10 as well, that he can get into base to base with Dynamite, and he was going all out. Unarmed combo, retractable claws for blood stun. He efforted twice, Dynamite did not, and all said and done, 6 blood, 6 stun, and he's a 4/5 model, so Dynamite is dead. Now, not sure if you're supposed to roll on a turn in which he dies from it, whether or not he explodes. Rolled anyway, didn't explode. But didn't earn anything off of that, just the satisfaction of murder. Oh, with the passing of poor dear Dynamite, Lincoln may not have scored any cards, but it scored Joker a card. You're expendable, because he has Trickster thanks to Chaos Agent. Friendly model with the Trickster trait is removed as a casualty or becomes KO. When this happens, both players discard a card from their hand at random. Only 1 point, but it scored. So the man himself, Joker, activated next for his crew. He moved up such that he was within 8 of the 1890s Talon and fired his Joker's gun at him, although only 1 died because of moving and shooting, and he missed, even though this Talon does not have Acrobat. Just missed the roll. So the Gotham Butcher activated, and he is going to be the last activation for the Court of Owls in Battle Round 1. However, I forgot to mention, with the completion of Joker's activation, the court secures their bases scored, because no enemies were within 4 of that L marker that's kind of central to the camera there. Someone technically could have popped out the sewer there, but the Gotham Butcher would have eaten them. So the Gotham Butcher, he is fast. He has the fast roll on top of his 10 inches, giving him 12, plus he's a large base. So he sprinted down the field, and it is a little awkward because of his big hand going for the claw there, catching the tree, but his base does fit, so he can legally be placed there. Again, it's just a little awkward with his hand. And because he has the new definition of the murderer roll, not the old one, which only let him score objectives related to murder, he can score normal cards. So he put down a suspect marker, and in doing so he has made sure that there is 2 L markers, the one there, and the suspect marker he just put down are all just within 4 of Joker there, scoring the condition for an L's tail for 2 victory points. But now, Kite Man, Whiteface, Thug 6, Buffoon, they all get to activate. So of those 4 miniatures still to activate, we're going to cover 2 of them. First, Thug 6 without Audacity. He moved up next to Joker to protect Joker from the inevitable pylon next turn with his bodyguard / protect me. He used the free inspire from Joker to put down a suspect marker just because. It's not anything special or anything like that. And Buffoon, he used the sword ring. So he has popped out there now because there's no owls over here. And that does mean if the third Court Secures Their Bases comes out to play, he could actually counter it. So now Whiteface and Kite Man. Alright, to cover those last 2 activations, Kite Man decided to stay away from Lincoln Marsh and ran himself up here from where he was standing, like right there. Now technically he might actually, because that building is so tall, I don't think his 6 inches would have covered it. You know what? I don't think it would have. So never mind. He's actually just going to run away from Lincoln Marsh by going 6 inches this way. I'll measure it correctly in a second. And Whiteface, he just moved up. He shot the extra ammunition he brought for his imprecise shotgun at the Gotham Butcher and whiffed. And that does take us to the end of Battle Round 1 for cleanup and potentially scoring. So at the end of Battle Round 1 there is no additional Phase 4 cards being played, although obviously we have some Phase 3s to check the criteria of scoring for. First of all, though, Strix did wake up, so she is conscious and knocked down over here. Not 100% sure if Reanimate L would then allow her to heal an extra potential point of stun or blood, but either way she is conscious. Lincoln Marsh fully heals his 2 stun because he's a Reanimate L, so he gets that extra point of healing as well. And the only stun damage on Joker's crew was Harley Quinn's self-inflicted from efforts, so that also healed 2. For cards in play, the mission for the Court of Owls stays in play for Lincoln Marsh trying to kill Joker, but the terrible accident, it does not. It has timed out, so that's gone. And for the Joker crew, Joker O-meter stays in play, and the Stinky Fish was ignored, even though Lincoln Marsh is standing on it, so that has scored for Joker's crew. So here is the board state at the top of turn 2, and surprising literally no one, the Court of Owls will be taking first activation because they had 4 unused passes which buffed their take the lead roll. And there's a lot of cards to cover. You can see who has Audacity. One other bit of housekeeping. Joker has Scheming, and he opted to move the suspect marker that the Butcher put down 4 inches that way. It's relevant to what we'll check now actually. Phase 1 card for Joker's crew. Overwhelming Charisma. It's Kite Man's card. You choose one friendly model, choose an enemy model. The friendly model has to reveal more suspect markers than the enemy. The enemy model chosen was Lincoln March, because he's probably going to try and murder rather than reveal suspect markers. The friendly model chosen was Kite Man. So Kite Man has to reveal at least 1 suspect marker on the assumption that Lincoln does none. And then there is 3 Phase 2s being played for the Court of Owls, and I just realised the markers for one of which has not been put down yet. So we'll cover the other 2 first and then be back in a second. But another terrible accident. It's in play. Joker's the target because he's both the leader and the most rep. But Gotham is Ours was the other one played. Target 2 scenery elements, the opponent chooses another. Put a suspect marker within 4 of each. And then at the end of the round have 1 friendly suspect marker within 4 of all 3 scenery elements. This caravan was chosen, and that marker has been placed there. This bin has been chosen, that marker has been placed there. And then Joker's crew picked this truck, and that marker has been placed there right next to Kite Man, so it's kind of accidentally playing into Overwhelming Charisma. Alright, the last card has been set up. Apologies for that, it is a very complicated one. It is Plots Behind Plots. It's Lincoln Marsh's unique. You place 3 event markers within 8 inches of enemy models. So 1 has been placed over there behind Harley Quinn, 1 is smack dab in front of the Joker over there. I'm going to have to come around this side of the table because the other one has been placed over there. One of them is a secret objective, 2 of them are shadows. And models can remove them by going up to them and doing a reveal, like you would a suspect marker. Before removing a shadow, you can place a model with the Reanimated Owl trait in contact with the marker once. So one of the shadows is actually a hidden Talon. so you can technically teleport someone around the table, which is pretty cool. And 1 is the secret objective, which is the actual one, and if it remains until the end of the round, no prizes for guessing which one that is, incidentally. It will score for 3 victory points. So Battle Round 2 got started with not the person you might be expecting. Strix activated, because otherwise she's not going to get a turn, because Harley could probably kill her. So she activated, she hopped to her feet, but because she's an acrobat, does not suffer impaired movement for that, and then shot across the table after Ace of Spades here, who didn't see her coming. He efforted twice, though, to defend against her double blood, heavy, overwhelming, sharp, I think, katanas. Strix did not do anything back and did very well with her defense roll. Ace of Base, he should have done better with his defense roll than he did, because he gets 3 defense rolls, only needing 4s to block. But sadly for him, he did not. He took 6 blood and did actually die, which was unexpected. She was just trying to do a bit of damage, not murder a man. But that did score the criteria for the neutral card, Overdrive, because the enemy model did at least 2 efforts, and she did none. So, or as long as he efforts at all, rather. So that scored for 2. Then as a resource, for 0 resource points, she played Talon's Claw, choosing any model within 4 of a friendly L marker and a suspect marker, remove the suspect marker, and that model is now marked as prey. The one that had been moved over there by scheming wasn't far enough away, so it's been removed, and Joker is now marked as prey. So Kite Man activated first for the Joker crew, and he had a choice, because he could make it to that event marker, which is most likely the shadow objective for denying Lincoln Marsh's card, but at the same time he could try and secure his own card. In both cases it's a 3-point swing. He opted to retreat over here and reveal a marker to count towards overwhelming charisma, because 1, that might force Lincoln Marsh not to go try and murder Joker, and 2, that way it keeps Kite Man safe, because if he went around the corner there, Lincoln Marsh could go kill him, and the Joker crew is starting to take casualties. So he opted to go back there and do that. It doesn't score till the end of the round, because Lincoln Marsh could still reveal a suspect marker, as said. During his turn, though, for 1 resource point, Seasoning the Mix was played, which is way too reflective here. Pick 2 suspect markers, friendly ones, and move them 4 inches. That one had been moved from over there-ish, and that one had been moved from over there-ish. The Gotham Butcher activated next for the Court of Owls, and he had one simple task: get rid of Joker's bodyguard. He charged into Thug 6 with his Brutal Rule, his Bloodstun Claws, his attack 5. No efforts because of how, although he does have bodyguard, he's not that great of a miniature. 4 hits through for 4 blood, 4 stun, which actually would have meant that he would have stayed conscious, because he has 5 willpower, so he would have stayed conscious if not for the fact, despite being a very chunky bodyguard, he only has 4 HP. So Thug 6 is also gone. Didn't score anything on that, but Joker is now unprotected, bodyguard wise, and the murderer rule kicks in, so now the Gotham Butcher has +1 inch of movement, 1 free effort whenever he efforts, and I think there's 1 more buff from the murderer I'm forgetting offhand, but either way he has all those buffs now. So very aware that the Talons are descending upon him, Joker activated next and decided the better part of Valor is retreat. Not before, though, using the last of his ammo in his Joker's gun to shoot Strix, who did not have enough willpower left to do any dodging. 2 hits got through, it's triple blood, so Strix is gone. So that's both sides suffering casualties now. Joker then scarpered his 8 inches right over here, where he has Harley to back him up down here, and the Panda Man up there as well. And for inflicting knockdown, knockout, casualty, etc., I'm Feeling Weird has scored for 2 points. Lincoln March activated and activated Fly to hop over the building. He didn't go after Joker though, he went after the poor Defense 2 Whiteface and attacked him with his Bloodstun Retractable Claws, combo unarmed, and Retractable Claws counts as unarmed, and 6 blood, 6 stun later on the poor, what stats does he even have? He's 5'5", so he would have been okay in most cases, but Lincoln rolled hot and Whiteface did not. So he is now gone, didn't score anything on it, but is further reducing the options that the Joker crew has. Buffoon over here activated, put down a assessment marker that has become the second stinky fish of the match, and then unactivated himself, so that is in play for 2 victory points, and he's just chilling out away from where all the carnage is happening. The Talon activated, and thanks to where Lincoln moved to, he was actually close enough that he has a free Inspired Manipulate, because only the Gotham Butcher is not a henchman. So he moved up to there, he used that free Manipulate to put down a assessment marker, and that's important because Kite Man cancelled out Gotham is Ours by there being no friendly assessment marker within of this tank, but it's back to being met and will score at the end of the round unless something changes, because all 3 scenery elements that were chosen still have markers within 4 of them. Anyway, the other thing he did was throwing knives, and remember that in the buffed Court of Owl cards / the app, the Talon has throwing knives now, because he didn't used to. He chucked them at Joker and actually did pretty well. All 3 got through for 3 blood. And the other thing I forgot to cover during Lincoln's turn, when he killed Whiteface, he moved the L marker that was closest to right there. So Harley activated next, and she decided she needed to protect her Puddin and also deny a objective card. So she sprinted more than enough right over here. She did not want to go into base to base with the Talon because she has reach anyway, but she needed to use her tactical action to remove that suspect marker. So Gotham is ours is back to not scoring now, but the last activation is the 1890s Talon, and he could potentially just run over there and put in another suspect marker, unless he'd like to try his hand at taking out the Clown. I guess we'll see in a second. So against the Joker, it didn't feel like the 1890s Talon would be good enough, and he did start close enough to Lincoln that he had a free Inspire. So he darted down here, put that suspect marker right back down, and then initiated combat with his Owl Knife. So it's got crushing, so it needs 2 defense to block every 1 hit now with the rebalanced Owl Knives. They both efforted twice, all said and done. Pretty good. 3 hits got through for 3 blood on a Harley of her 7 HP, I think. Yeah, 7 HP, 6 willpower. So that was it for the Court of Owls for Battle Round 2. It's over to Panda Man to end off the turn proper. So from his sniper nest up here, Panda Man expended the last of his ammo to shoot at the 1890s Talon, who does not have Acrobat, and did okay. 2 hits got through for a total of 4 blood, 2 stun, putting him at a total damage with what he just did to himself at 4 blood, 4 stun, and he's a 6/6 miniature. So he is actually still awake, and he'll heal 2 damage, well, at least 1 stun, and then probably 1 blood as well at the end of the turn, which we're at now, so we'll go over that in a second. So at the end of an exceptionally bloody turn 2 for the Joker's crew, got a lot of cards to go over, although it is worth pointing out the Joker's crew now has an equal amount of miniatures as the Court of Owls is 4 each. So let's go over all the points. First of all, the 1890s Talon actually healed 2 stun, because Joker's out of ammo, Panda Man's out of ammo. He's only got stun damage really to be threatened by, so he healed 2 stun instead. Let's see, Court of Owl cards. So, Gotham is Ours does score, because each of the 3 scenery elements still have a suspect marker within range, which is rare for that one to score, honestly. So that's 2. Lincoln Marshes does score. The marker was the one behind the building over there, so that's scored for 3. Terrible Accident does not score, because Joker's still alive, and the mission stays in play for Lincoln Marsh to actually hunt the Clown down. Now if we go over here for Joker's crew, they may have lost a lot of people, but they did do some scoring. There, it doesn't look fresh, the second card. Scores for 2. And Overwhelming Charisma also scores for 3. So they managed to get 5 each in that turn, which is pretty good. And with that, let's move into the setup for turn 3. So here is the board state at the top of the penultimate turn, Battle Round 3. However, I erroneously stated the Joker's crew was down to 4 miniatures. How could I forget poor Buffoon over there? So it's actually 5 versus 4, so there's still a numbers advantage for Joker's crew, although that might have counted against them, or will count against them. The Court of Owls are taking first activation again. There's one phase 2 card being played, and it's the 3rd iteration of a Terrible Accident. One day it might score. So that's in play, and everybody has Audacity. Literally everyone on the table has Audacity except Panda Man, who is just useless up there in a building with no ammo left. So with that, let's just jump in. I think the rest of the game is going to go much quicker than the first 2 turns. So of course it was Lincoln March that activated, and he flew after the Joker. They both efforted a full 3 times. He was using his combo Blood Stun Retractable Claws. 3 hits got through for 3 blood, 3 stun, leaving Joker on 6 blood, 3 stun. 6 and 6, because he efforted 3 times. 6 blood, 6 stun. He's an 8/8 miniature, so he is still very much alive, which means that Lincoln Marsh will not be achieving the mission. Someone else could, but I wouldn't score that card because he was the one selected as the target. However, because he didn't achieve that, he played an Owl's Tail. You have at least 2 friendly owl markers and 1 friendly suspect within 4 of the same enemy model. Those 2 owls, that marker, Harley Quinn. So that has scored. So he did something, and Joker is obviously very close to death. So Joker activated for his crew and played They Must Know Pain as he resourced to heal himself for 2 of that blood damage. So he's a little less close to death now. He went after the 1890s Talon, who efforted 3 times, which is exactly enough. He had room for it. He can't do any more. Joker didn't, because he can't really. And 2 hits got through. For 2 blood, it would also poison. Presumably the poison procs first, because he only had 2 health left, so the 1890s talent is gone. And if the poison did indeed proc first, that scores seasoning the mix for 2, because a model who was poisoned is removed as a casualty. The talent activated, William Cobb, and the clown is down. I repeat, the clown is down. He charged into Joker. He efforted a full 3 times with his crushing single blood L knife. Got 5 hits through with a really great roll with those extra dice thrown in for the efforts as well. Joker couldn't really counter them. And that was more than enough that the clown is gone. So Joker is dead. And during his activation, as the card falls, hang on, there we are. He played Talon's Claw. Remove an enemy model marked as prey. Joker was marked as prey. But if we come round here, that also means that Terrible Accident scores. I mean, it's technically at the end of the round, but the criteria has been met, so we're doing it now. That scored. The mission, however, does not, because William Cobb was the one who took the kill, ironically, because it's his card, not Lincoln. So, but Lincoln was the one selected, so the mission does not score, and that will be discarded. So Harley Quinn activated, and her true love Joker is kicked in as well now, so she's got +1 willpower and something else. She didn't use either of that though. She ran over here and revealed a suspect marker to meet the secondary potential scoring criteria for so long it's been a guess. When a friendly model reveals an enemy suspect marker, choose one of your models and place a friendly suspect marker in contact with it, and then she suffers enervating 2. There's the friendly suspect marker. She scored that for 2, and then she is done. So still 2 more minis to go for Joker's crew, but we're already at the last activation for the Court of Owls. It was the Gotham Butcher. He ran over here, he removed his own suspect marker that the Talon put down earlier, and that has become loot. And this is the last opportunity to score this, or put it into play rather, because you can't put it into play in Battle Round 4. So he's now holding loot. Good luck to anybody who decides to try and take it. Oh, I just realised also there's actually 3 Joker's crew left, because Panda Man is still not doing anything, but he can't. So he won't be doing anything, but Kite Man and Buffoon will though. Alright, let's cover both those activations. Buffoon, he's been scoring points, but also technically not doing much. He just moved more than 4 inches away from his last fish, and he just put down another one. The final stinky fish is in play. It's the end of the round, so it's just going to score. And then Kite Man, he moved up out of the original deployment zone, put down a suspect marker, which I've just realised is the wrong colour, and that will score once he puts down the correct colour. Let them in on the joke for putting a suspect marker within 4 of an enemy. And oh, actually, he won't have Trickster anymore because Joker's gone, unless that doesn't stop affecting it until the end of the round. I'm actually not sure about that. I think when Joker leaves, the effect would disappear. So actually, I don't think that can score. So never mind. That will not score, and that does take us to the end of the round. At the end of the penultimate round, there is no additional cards being played, and as we already covered, that stinky fish that got put down by Buffoon just scores. The loot stays in play on the Gotham Butcher, and the Talon and Lincoln Marsh are healing 2 stun each. Nothing else to cover. Panda Man isn't doing anything. He can't. I mean, technically, he could fall off the building and suffer some damage. That would just be giving the Talons another target to potentially murder or put suspect markers next to for cards. So he's staying up on the building. So with that, we're jumping into what will most likely be a very brief turn 4. Dawn of the final day, top of turn 4. Everybody else living has Audacity for both sides. And there's 2 Phase 1 cards being played by the formerly Joker's crew, now Harley Quinn's crew. Their Die Hard is being played on Buffoon, who's basically safe up there. And Let's Dance is being played. So a friendly model with the leader, sidekick, or free agent rank suffers damage. Basically, if Harley gets damaged at all this turn, that will score for 2. So the ball is in the court's court on that one. So with that, let's get started. It is the Court of Owls, retaining first activation as predicted as well. So the Talon got the final turn started, and he was within Inspire range of Lincoln down there. So he moved over there, he put down a suspect marker using the free Inspired Manipulate, which met the criteria for another Shadow's Claw, because Harley Quinn has blood damage on her. Didn't touch her though, so no Let's Dance yet. So he chucked Throwing Knives at Kite Man, kind of whiffed the roll actually, which might work out better for him in the long run, or better for cards. He only did 1 damage to Kite Man, and with that his turn is done. So Harley activated, she ran up there and revealed the owl suspect marker that was kind of next to the bin there from before, and that triggered again the secondary potential scoring condition for so long has been a guess. That's why there's a friendly suspect marker there now, and that scored for 2, simple as that. So Lincoln March activated. He just flew over here to cut off Kite Man a little bit and did nothing, but during his activation an Owl's Tail was played because Kite Man is within 4 of 2 owl markers and a friendly suspect marker, so that scores for 2, and it is over to either Kite Man or Buffoon next for the Joker crew. So Kite Man did activate, and really there's nothing for Buffoon to do. No one can reach him and he's safe, and there's nothing he can do over there to score. Kite Man, however, tried to play Let Them In on the joke, selected the closest Joker suspect marker, centre of the explosive template, pick a direction, which was over there, roll 2 dice. Unfortunately he got an 11, so it hit nobody and did not score. Now as far as I'm aware, let's see who's left for the Court of Owls. Just the Butcher. I'm not sure if there's anything he can do to score. I guess we'll be back in a second to see. Oh, there actually was one last thing he could do. He ran round the corner here and put down a suspect marker and scored the final Shadow's Claw for putting it within distance of Kite Man there. And that does take us to the end of the game because Buffoon isn't going to do anything. So before we go to the final score piles, we have to address any potential phase 4s, of which there isn't any, but also the cards in play. Valuable commodities for the Court of Owls scores for 3. That's the only card they had left. The Gotham Butcher was holding the loot. Let's Dance does not score because Harley was unharmed, so that's gone. Die Hard scores because Buffoon was unharmed, so that's 2 points. And Jokerometer, we tried to keep track of it. As far as you can tell, it did not. I think the closest was a 3 dice roll of a 1, 2, 2, but there was no double ones near Harley anyway, as far as could be concerned. So that did not score. So let's go see who's won. So it's a healthy size score pile for both crews actually, but I think the Owls may have taken this. We'll count up their score first, starting over here. I think Joker's crew had a good start, but after that it fell apart. So let's see here. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Very healthy score for a Court of Owls crew there, 29. Let's see, Jokers, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 on the dot, 22. So 22 plays 29. A comfortable win there for the Court of Owls, who dominated from turn 2 onwards, just murdering everybody, whether it was for victory points or not, which really impeded Joker's ability to score his cards. Like, he had a bunch of teeth that weren't going to do anything. Oh, a bunch. There were a bunch in the deck. What else? The other cards. Let me check. Let's take a look at the hand there. The hand in the deck. Joker's card didn't get drawn until the very end, which is bad. Bite the Dust. Let Them In on the Jokes couldn't be scored after Trickster disappeared. Yeah, that's about it. So he was robbed of the ability to score a few different cards there with all the henchmen going down early. I think that's the way the court works. Ideally you want your opening hand with the court to have something like secure bases, just so you can rack up a little bit of points while moving your murder machines into range, so from turn 2 onwards you can start claiming lives whether they're marked as prey or not. Joker's crew couldn't really stand up to the damage on the table here. But it was a fun one. I sincerely hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you very much for doing so, and we'll hopefully see you in the future for the next time. I think next time some crew of some variety will be going up against Riddler, featuring Riddler reinforcements. So until then, thank you again, and ta-ta for now.